Battling brush fires right now at 6. From the air and the ground, we're taking you live to the front lines as crews work to contain the flames.
State troopers from Orlando involved in a historic immigration arrest. The rarely used law to deport a suspected gang foreign member.
A stolen jewelry case turned from a sprint to a marathon. Why more time had to pass to get the Tiffany jewelry back.
And the community rallying to stop a local hospital from closing its doors. What they're proposing and the risk that could come with the closure.
WESH 2 News starts right now.
It's just blowing them hot embers right across this windstorm.
Dry weather and strong winds.
I'm glad it's still here. It didn't burn or blow away or anything.
Pushing flames towards home and forcing people to choose between fighting the fire.
Still got the hoses laying out there in the yard. You know, we did that because the ambers are what you have to be afraid of.
Or running from it.
I don't want to go through this again.
Tonight, firefighters are battling multiple large brush fires here in Central Florida. The biggest right now is in Samsula. It is 336 acres and 80% contained.
Another brush fire in Lake County just exploded to 210 acres and is uncontrolled. And Chopper 2 found a small fire in Orange County today. The high risk for fires is prompting a red flag warning today, and we've seen these fires grow quickly. I'm Jesse Pagan.
And I'm Michelle Imparato. WESH 2 has team coverage for you tonight. First warning meteorologist Marquise Mita is tracking the fire conditions. Luana Munoz is in Chopper 2 over the fire in Lake County, but we do start in Volusia County, where Pamela Combe is talking to people who were forced to leave their homes in Samsula because of that large, fast-moving fire. Pamela, how are things tonight?
Well, Michelle, still a lot of smoke here. This is what a lot of this area looks like. I mean, what's left of this palm tree, it's smoldering, burning slowly. A lot of smoke is getting released, but the rest of this wooded area looks much like this, reduced to ash, completely black. The bark off this tree literally just falling off. Right now, again, you guys have said it, it's 80% contained. They do say it's holding well, so they do hope to reach 90 or close to 100 by the end of today. And we're still seeing a few spots that are smoldering, some spots here and there. The Department of Agriculture, an investigator actually arrived on scene about 2 hours ago. He's surveying an area, taking a look at the damage, and will hopefully determine the source of the fire at some point. Covering Volusia County, live in Samsula, Pamela Combe, WESH 2 News.
Meantime, Chopper 2 has been monitoring a brush fire just over the county line in the Ocala National Forest in Lake County. 210 acres burning there with no containment. The good news, the Forest Service says no structures are right now in danger. WESH 2's Luana Munoz is overhead live in Chopper 2. Luana.
Yeah, Jesse, that's right. That is the good news in this. We're hearing that no structures are being threatened at this time. It looks like the fire has definitely sort of cooled down in terms of intensity in relation to earlier today when we saw massive flames, massive plumes of smoke. It has spread, as you just said, it spread from 100 acres to now 210. We did see some U.S. Fire Service airplane and a helicopter, but no water tanks with them. Those vehicles have now since left, so we don't know exactly what they're doing right now with the fire. It is 0% contained, so we don't know what they're expecting or how this fire exactly is shifting, but for right now, it seems to be dying down. There are a few hot spots that we can see down on the ground. Chopper 2 has been able to catch some of those flames down there, but nothing, again, super severe. It is spreading, and I don't know what we're seeing right there. We can see some of the massive amounts of smoke still billowing out in the air. But again, still calming down in intensity and comparable to earlier today. 210 acres have burned so far. That is the latest update that we've gotten from Lake County. U.S. Fire Service is out here working on, Forest Service is out here working on this fire along with Lake County firefighters as well. They were supposed to be working on this together, collaborating. Again, we did see that there was a structure down below. There was a ranch down there, but the fire looks like it's about a mile away from that structure, a little less than a mile away, but we're being told that no structures are being threatened at this time. So still a lot of smoke out in the air here. No word on what sparked this fire, and no word of any injuries or, again, no structures being threatened. Covering the Hernandez fire right now in Lake County. I'm Luana Munoz. We're going to continue to monitor this and try to bring you guys updates throughout the night. Back to you.
All right, Luana, thank you. We're bringing in first warning meteorologist Marquise Mita now. Marquise, we've been talking about the weather all week. It's just perfect conditions for fires like this to spark and spread. We were under a red flag warning earlier today, but that's since expired, correct?
That is correct, Michelle. We have seen the relative humidity values in Brevard County begin to come up. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's new air advecting in, but what it does mean is temperatures cool and your dew points remain consistent. The overall percentage of moisture relative to the air, that is going to increase. So earlier in the day, we had values around 20, 30, 40%. These are now showing 50% or greater from New Smyrna Beach all the way down to Palm Bay, which is likely why the National Weather Service has allowed for the red flag warning to expire. But you see, as you stretch further inland, we're still trending dry, right? Values between 20, 30, and 40% for orange in Lake County, where that Hernandez fire is still ongoing. Now, this is the Honeydew fire. We can see that as our tower cam points towards the west of New Smyrna Beach. You see the bellowing smoke. Containment levels are at 80% as of last check, but over 300 acres have been burned. It's been the combination of dry air, faster winds, and the low relative humidity that we talked about, allowing for these flames to continue to grow. But as we continue throughout the rest of the evening, wind speeds are calming down, and that will aid firefighters and city officials on getting better containment levels for these flames. Of course, we'll keep you up to date as temperatures cool, but we're warming up this weekend, and that's what I'll be tracking coming up next time I see you.
And be sure to download the WESH 2 News app and turn on push alerts. We'll send you breaking news happening in your neighborhood the moment it's confirmed. The app is free to download. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement says the first arrest in the county under the Alien Enemies Act was done by a task force based in Orlando.
Florida Highway Patrol took part in the historic arrest of a suspected human trafficker and Venezuelan gang member. WESH 2's Justin Shecker is live at the FHP office in Orlando. So, Justin, the president is using this old law to quickly deport people.
That's right, Michelle. The Trump administration is already facing legal challenges for using the Alien Enemies Act. Now, today, the acting director of ICE was here in Orlando, and he emphasized that federal, state, and local law enforcement are working together to detain and deport suspected members of a dangerous foreign gang. And the executive director of the Florida Highway Patrol says more than 1,100 troopers have completed the required training for immigration enforcement. None of the officials today took any questions after their news conference. Covering Orange County Live in Orlando, I'm Justin Shecker, WESH 2 News.
Two prominent politicians will be going toe-to-toe in a local state Senate race. This morning, State Representative LaVon Gracie Davis announced she will run for the Senate seat left vacant with the passing of Geraldine Thompson last month. At a campaign launch event today, Gracie Davis called Thompson her mentor.
And I stand here today to say I will not waver. I will not retreat. I will continue to fight with every ounce of my being to ensure that Florida works for us all.
Gracie Davis's family and State Attorney Monique Worrell were also there to endorse her, but her brother Randolph was not. The former state senator ran to unseat Thompson last year. He announced he would run for the District 15 seat the day after Thompson died. Randolph said in a statement, quote, "This is a sad day for the Bracy name. My sister choosing to run against me dishonors our father's legacy in every way possible. People know my record, and I will continue to walk and live in the light by putting the people over power," unquote.
Orlando police were finally able to recover more than $769,000 worth of jewelry stolen from Tiffany's at the mall at Millennia. Detectives say Jathan Gilder swallowed the expensive earrings last month while trying to get away. After more than a dozen days in the hospital, detectives say he finally passed the earrings and they were able to match the serial numbers to the ones stolen from Tiffany's.
A rallying cry over the closure of a Brevard County hospital.
The community protesting the move by Orlando Health, what they're proposing, and the risks that could come with that closure. Next.
In about Rockledge Hospital will close its doors, and that's leaving some people there worried about a gap in care.
Today, community members and employees rallied to save that hospital. WESH 2's Brevard County reporter Megan Moriarty explains their message and the latest on building a new healthcare system in the area. All right, let's turn our attention to the forecast. Friday is upon us, Marquise. We have a beautiful weekend ahead of us. This morning started out a little chilly.
Temperatures dropped all the way down into the 40s, right? So we needed the extra layers to start off the day. And even throughout the afternoon, it's been a massive temperature shift here in Central Florida. Take a look at this, your cool work week finish. Typically, we finish off your day with highs in the lower 80s and the upper 70s, but unfortunately, none of our major cities made it out of the 60s this afternoon. In Orlando, your high was only 69 degrees, a massive temperature shift from what we saw yesterday. On Thursday, high temperatures peaked in the low and the mid 80s, so we dropped off about 15 degrees, which is why it felt so cool in comparison to yesterday. Sanford 66, Leesburg only 65, Daytona Beach and Melbourne, you guys were stuck in the low 60s. Now you've returned to the 50s across the coastline and will only get cooler as we stay clear under high pressure tonight. So high pressure makes for great afternoons, loads of sunshine during the day, but at night you'll let go of the heat, the little heat that we accumulated throughout the afternoon. Never fear, though, warmer weekends lie ahead of us as we move into Saturday and Sunday, with highs returning to the 70s along the coastline and perhaps even the lower 80s inland. And then over the course of your next week, we will be tracking your next shot at rain, but here's a look at the 24-hour temperature difference. We did see a cold front cut across Central Florida yesterday, so at this time, it likely had already passed by Marion County, also parts of Sumter, but it hadn't quite yet gotten to our counties east of I-4, which is why we see that substantial temperature shift, especially across I-95, where temperatures are about 20 to 25 degrees cooler than they were 24 hours ago, from New Smyrna all the way down to Palm Bay, and we'll continue that cooling trend. Thankfully, as we continue across the weekend, we're likely going to let go of this high rip current risk. We've seen that today and yesterday, all due to the stronger, gustier winds across the shoreline, bringing wave heights to 3 and 5 feet, but will calm down over the course of the weekend. Temperatures are dropping quickly, though, tonight under these clear skies, falling to 44 degrees to start off the morning. If you are in Daytona, it's going to be a phenomenal afternoon, but I do recommend the extra layers before you head outside, whether you're in Daytona or anywhere across Central Florida. The afternoon shift comes thanks to this high pressure system that'll slide out towards the east. And as you watch the winds wrap around it, we'll have much more of a south and easterly flow. That southerly component, what it brings to Central Florida, will be much warmer temperatures over the course of your weekend. Tonight, though, wave heights could be between 3 and 6 feet from Flagler all the way down to Brevard County. But thankfully, over the course of the weekend and to start off the work week, surf conditions lie ahead of us with waves between 1 and a small breeze from the north tomorrow. That'll begin to shift as the afternoon does progress. Only a moderate rip current risk is what we're expecting, with temperatures of 75 in Daytona, 79 on Sunday. Warmer inland, though. We're back in the lower 80s in Orlando as we stay warm and sunny. It's a warming trend we'll carry across your Monday coming up. 85 for your high there. Your next shot at showers, that's Tuesday and Wednesday. Only a 20 and 40% chance, and then we finish off your forecast with highs in the lower 80s. Pretty seasonal for us here in Central Florida, but Darren, you're looking a little cool up in Raleigh.
It's a little chilly up here, Marquise. I'm not going to lie, but hey, it's sunny, it's not raining, we're happy. Florida Gators. They come into the NCAA tournament as a #1 seed for the first time in more than a decade. The last time they did that, they made it all the way to the Final Four. Why they're hoping the road to San Antonio begins here in Raleigh. We'll hear from the team coming up next in sports.
WESH 2 Sports is sponsored by Mullinax Ford, where it's truck month, and you'll find over 2,100 new trucks on sale with upfront prices and no dealer fees. Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
The road to San Antonio. Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltz. For Sports comes to you tonight from Raleigh, live outside the NCAA tournament as the Florida Gators get set to begin what they hope is another trip back to the Final Four. Now, the #1 seeded Gators are taking on Norfolk State, a 16 seed. And look, there are upsets in this round. The 16 seed has 2 wins in more than 150 tries, but that's not what the Gators are focused on tonight. No, they just want to keep moving forward. That's all it's about at this time of year. And the crowd behind us watching on screens just saw North Carolina come up short against Ole Miss. Their comeback was denied. Hard to determine if they were happy or sad. This is the triangle. There's a lot of Carolina fans and non-Carolina fans, if you catch my drift. All right, plenty of coverage coming up from Raleigh after the game. We'll see you at 10 and 11 on WESH. For now, live in Raleigh, Darren Stoltz. More news after the break.
Chopper 2, your live eye in the sky. covering breaking news in Central Florida.
Take a look at these huge flames, all that billowing smoke.
They were responding to a deputy-involved shooting.
Capturing every moment to bring you closer to the action.
A bird's eye view from Chopper 2 of this new theme park.
Chopper 2 captured the blanket of smoke.
The biggest stories from every angle, so you never miss a moment. This is what local, live, late-breaking coverage looks like from Chopper 2, and it's only on WESH 2 News.
We have several stories we're following for you tonight at 7.
Including the push by some state lawmakers to put the Gulf of America in school textbooks. We will also have team coverage on the wildfires burning north of Orlando and what kind of progress firefighters are making.